hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today, Alex and I are here to discuss some news stories with you all that we have taken under our wing. I will say, they're not new stories. They're just new to us.
Yeah.
So they are completed series that we've decided to take on because they've been on our list forever.
Yeah, I think some of these have been on the TBR for a few years.
You know, kind of when the TBR started, honestly.
Yeah.
So today we're really excited to talk through some of these with you and let you know what our thoughts are.
Okay, so I'm going to start us off with Interview with a Murderer. This one is 53 episodes. It's a boy love drama. You can find it on a couple of different platforms. It was a part of the Manta subscription, which I read it on the Manta subscription before it left.
Yeah.
It's also on TappyToon, which I know you've purchased on TappyToon.
Yep.
So still have access to that one. This story is so much fun in the worst way.
I was going to say, fun with a murderer is interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I felt a little bad for the murderer.
In typical Alex and Annie fashion.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't think he's right.
For the murdering
the
thing.
Murderer.
For like the murder thing, that's bad.
Yeah, but also the other main character is a little mean to him.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
There couldn't have been anything that the murderer did that would have been like maybe morally not sound.
I mean, I guess you'll find out.
I guess so.
So, this one starts off with our main character. His name is Clark, and he is a news reporter, and he is also kind of, I don't know, a sociopath maybe? Because they show at the beginning him as a child, and he's poisoned a cat. And that's just like a, hey, look at his backstory.
Is Clark... Is Clark the murderer?
Clark is not the murderer. Maybe.
Well, he's the cat murderer.
No, he is a cat murderer, yeah. So,
So he kind of is a murderer.
yeah. Well, he's grown up. He's a news reporter. He's bored with all of the stories around him. He's like, I don't like this. Who wants to see a police officer get hit by a car? That's not a fun story to write about.
I mean, no. He's not wrong there.
No. So he is also working with the police and just kind of, keeping up to date with things that are going on at the police station so that he can keep up with the news and everything.
Inside scoop.
Yeah. And so we learn about a triage killer who is a serial killer that has killed 3 people, all in different ways.
Okay.
But there's like a link that connects them all, that they know that it's the same person every time. And so they're kind of giving advice to the public on, hey, don't go outside, which sound advice.
Yeah.
So while this is happening, Clark gets a text message from his old hookup buddy, who is a psychologist.
Okay.
And he is like, I have this patient, and I really think that he would benefit from talking to you, and I want you to interview him. And he's like, okay, I'm not a doctor. That's your job.
Sounds kind of like you're trying to get me to do your job.
Yeah.
And you're my old hookup, which is probably uncomfortable.
No, they're kind of like an on again, off again, so they still talk.
Okay.
And
They like to keep that line of communication open just in case.
just in case, yeah, because when he goes to meet up with this guy, when he tells him, hey, I've got this patient, Clark first thinks that he's like trying to get together to hook up.
Oh, okay, so yeah, there's some blurred lines
Yeah,
there.
so not very clear. But Clark, not interested. Until he hears that this patient has confessed to being the triage killer. And then Clark is like, I'm interested.
Well, yeah. That's going to be a good scoop.
Yeah. So we also find out that Clark has a room of files that are his personal investigation files of things that he hasn't necessarily taken to the police when he should. That's kind of why the doctor thinks that he's not going to tell the police about this, because he's like, I know that Clark is interested in having these stories and having these details that no one else has. So he'll be interested in this.
That feels illegal.
I think it is.
Clark, buddy, what you doing?
I mean, also the doctor.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He should be reporting that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of illegal shit happening from not the murderer.
Yes, there is. There's illegal shit happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So Clark does go to this alleged murderer's house. His name is Alex. And
love that.
when you first meet him, he's just laying in the snow. And Alex is like, you look like the Grim Reaper, because Clark is got dark hair. He's wearing a long trench coat. And they don't get off to the best start with each other.
Yeah.
Clark kind of pisses off Alex, and then Alex is like, okay, leave.
Did he kill his cat?
No. So then the doctor calls Clark and is like, hey, you offended my patient, the murderer. So you need to go make this right.
Otherwise, you're next, bucko.
So he goes back and he's like, hey, listen, I'm sorry that I offended you. But also, can I interview you? And Alex is like, you can interview me if we can hook up. And Clark is like, yeah, all right, whatever.
I mean, he's got a goal.
Yeah. So that's the, first premise of the story. Then Alex does a sneaky little trick where he's like, okay, well, let's hook up first, and then I'll tell you the story. And so then they hook up. Alex falls asleep, and then Clark has to come back another time.
So he's scheming.
Yeah, so everybody has their own agenda here. So then Alex does start to tell Clark this story, and he's first telling a story about the first victim, who was his girlfriend. And he says, she asked me to kill her. That's what Clark thinks too. So then Clark starts spitting off all these facts like, well, actually, she had drugs in her system that were not in her house. So where did those come from? It looked like she had scratch marks. So it looked like she had been fighting, and listing off all of these things, all of these reasons as to why it wasn't possible.
That it was just him doing what she asked.
Yeah. And so he starts to unravel all of these things. He hears about the second murder victim as well, who was a man who he was in a relationship with. And then that man was going to marry a different woman. And Alex was like, he's not going to love me anymore if that happens.
If I can't have you, no one can kind of energy. Yeah.
So Clark is starting to put all the pieces together, and he figures out that Alex murders people to preserve their love. If they're dead, once they love him, they died loving him.
Yeah.
So they never had a chance to not love him.
Yeah.
So you get his backstory, and you find out that Alex was neglected by his parents. And so he just felt really alone and felt like no one loved him, and he couldn't hold on to anyone's attention. So that's why he's, doing this.
Gripping so tight.
Yeah. So Clark figures this out. Clark also figures out that Alex is interested in him now because they've been spending so much time together.
And hooking up before these interviews.
Yeah. And Clark also figures out, and Alex figures out, that the doctor is also interested in Alex. Clark is worried about this because he doesn't want Alex to kill his, friends with benefits. And so Clark warns the doctor away from Alex and says, you should refer him to someone else. You need to stop seeing him.
Yeah.
Clark starts to try and prevent Alex from going to his appointments. So he's like, hey, let's go hang out, but we can only hang out at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, which is like his appointment time.
Setting a boundary.
Yeah. So he does that a couple times. It works. And then eventually he convinces Alex to stop going to therapy.
I mean, his therapist is concealing crimes, so...
And also interested in him.
Yeah.
But this does backfire because then the doctor is like, okay, cool. Since you're not my patient anymore, like, let's hang out. So then he starts hanging out with Alex. He knows that the doctor is interested in him. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a mess.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like it.
Alex is really fixated on Clark still. So he ends up killing a random person, like, for Clark. And Clark is like, I didn't want you to do that. And as punishment, avoids him. And this really upsets Alex.
Yeah.
So then he ends up kidnapping and murdering the doctor. And he sends the doctor's finger, the ring finger, to Clark. And come to find out, he found the ring and realized that Clark had this old ring as well that he found earlier on. And the doctor had this ring before. And so he realized that the only person that he actually did care about was the doctor. So he sent the ring finger to Clark to send a message.
Yeah.
And this also backfires. So Clark has been working with the main detective, Detective Jung, on this case a little bit. He tells the detective, hey, I know who the murderer is. I've been interviewing him. Eventually tells him who the murderer is, and the detective doesn't turn him in because there's lots of, like, blackmail going on with various people. The detective doesn't want to be a detective. His dad, who is a councilman, made him be a detective.
I don't know why the image in my head was he's like, I don't want to be a detective. I want to be a ballerina.
I don't know why it was like that either. He did not want to be a ballerina.
But he didn't want to be a detective.
No, he didn't want to be a detective either.
So I did get it half right.
You did. So he goes to the detective and he tells him, if I go missing, look for me at this location. And it's Alex's house. Then he goes to Alex to confront him about murdering the doctor. And he kidnaps Clark.
Could have seen that coming.
And keeps him there. And Clark kind of lets it happen. He's kind of playing with his mind the whole time.
Clark is like, if I'm here, then the detective's going to come and get him.
Kind of a little.
Yeah.
So then eventually Clark convinces Alex to let him go. And when he does, Clark kills Alex. First, Clark is saying to him, like, you know, this is what you've always wanted, to die being loved. And, like, you love me, and so you're dying for it. And and then Alex is like, yeah, this is great. Like, I've always wanted, I never thought that someone would understand me and know that I want to die, like, with my love. And Clark is like, I hate you. And the only reason I'm here is to get revenge for the doctor. So
that is kind of messed up.
I know.
Not as sympathizing with a literal murderer.
I know. Well, and then too, like, whenever he ignores him, I felt really bad for Alex.
Kindred spirit.
Yeah. The multiple, like, because he ignores him a few times throughout the series, and Alex always looked so sad
Aww.
when he was being ignored, and it reminded him of his childhood, so it just made me sad.
Here's my thing, is like, it doesn't sound like Clark was genuinely afraid of Alex.
No, he wasn't at all.
It was more just like an inconvenience to Clark.
He was pissed.
Like, yeah,
because
he's mad.
You see that he did have feelings for the doctor still. Mm-hmm. And it's the only person he has seemingly ever cared about.
Yeah.
Who was taken from him by this crazy guy who's obsessed with him, is like what he's thinking.
Yeah.
So after he kills Alex and he tells Alex that he was just a subject, like just a news article, and he wasn't even an interesting one.
Yeah.
He starts a fire and he burns down Alex's house.
Okay.
So that there's no evidence and it just looks like he died naturally.
Uh-huh.
And then you see he's talking to Detective Jung. And they're kind of exchanging, we have our understanding. The murderer is gone. You're not going to tell anyone that I knew who the murderer was, because then I'll tell them that you also knew who he was.
I know that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those. And then Clark goes home and he feeds his betta fish, who he got from the doctor as like a gift. And that's it.
Wow.
I know. It's heartbreaking, but I
from
mean,
a lot of sides,
from
really.
Yeah, like I felt bad for everyone.
Yeah. Except for Clark. I don't know if I like Clark.
I felt bad for Clark.
I don't know. Maybe I will when I read it, because this
Yeah.
one has been on my list. But as of right now, I don't feel so bad for Clark.
Yeah, but he lost the only person he loved.
He's a cat murderer. That cat could have been a grandma.
I don't know. I mean, he was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I was a kid too. I never did that.
I mean, I didn't either, but.
So, I mean, and we're obviously normal.
It was a really good story, though. I definitely recommend reading this one. It was well worth it. And they pack a lot of stuff into those 53 episodes.
Yeah. I'm really sad it was taken off of the subscription. Would you say that it's worth the gems?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
If you're on Manta and you use gems, get it there. If you're on TappyToon.
TappyToon's also pretty cheap.
Yeah, TappyToon, I think, in our little cost breakdown that we did, was one of the cheaper platforms to purchase on.
So it's there too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm going to have to read it. I'm kind of bummed you read it before me, because I did buy this one a while ago. So it's just like a really clear image in my head that I'm way behind on everything that I own.
No.
Yeah. It is. So the next one that I read was one that I found completely on accident. Delusional Book Boyfriend podcast, shout out, had been doing a review of Loverboy by Zek, who you will know as the artist for The New Recruit.
Oh.
But it turns out that Zach does have their own stories as well. So Loverboy is one of them. And when I was looking for Loverboy on Tapas, I did find Sparkling Baby. So that is the one that I read for today. It is completed with 26 episodes. So it's a really quick read. But I mean, you know New Recruit. The art is just so beautiful the entire way through. And I loved this story. The one caveat I'll give is that I read this, still haven't read Loverboy, and the way that they did some of the characters, I'm pretty sure that this is like a spin-off of Loverboy.
Okay.
So I think I read it in the wrong order, but you know, I did it.
So maybe you'll be going back in time when you read Loverboy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it because I already bought Loverboy, so, you know, I'll just have to read that one next. But Sparkling Baby, again, is on Tapas and completed. This story follows Eugen. He is the head of a magazine. He's currently the editor, and he is just burying himself in work at the moment. He's on a business trip in New York, and everyone's like, wow, you're getting so much done. You're doing so much. Why don't you take a break? And he says no. And you find out that he's just choosing to stay busy because he went through a really hard breakup. So he's just like, yeah, if I don't focus on it, then it's like it didn't happen. And then I just am going to get really good at my job. And he's at a work party and he's just drinking a lot. He's just not in the best place.
Never a good mix.
Yeah. I think it's like culturally a thing for Korean workers to drink together.
Yeah, we've seen that in a lot of content.
Yeah, I will say though, I don't think that'd go well for me to drink with my coworkers all the time.
I don't think so.
I'm too fun. I'd want to do karaoke. And
I would tell you no.
Yeah, it's true. But he ends up going to decompress after his project and after he's been drinking. And he kind of just goes and sulks outside where there's a street performer. And they're playing this song that he notes as a song that his ex really liked. And so he's like, great, it's following me everywhere. But then he gets approached by this Korean student who's traveling alone. And he's like, you're Korean. I can tell you're Korean. And Yoojin says he is. And so this boy introduces himself as Hanjun. He's like, oh, I go to the university, whatever. He's got a photography camera on him. And so Yoojin is just kind of trying to pass the time and ignore his feelings and whatever else. So he gets into a conversation with this college student and he's like, oh, Hanjun, your pictures are really good. Like, you should actually continue with photography if it's something you're interested in. He's like, oh, I just do it as a hobby, but thanks, you know. And so they get along super well. And Hanjun's like, oh, maybe we should get a drink together. And Yoojin's like, yeah, maybe at my hotel room. We should do that. And Hanjun's like, sure, why
hint,
not?
Hint, nudge, nudge.
So Hanjun and Yoojin go back to the apartment and Yoojin takes a shower and they're having drinks together and Yoojin looks like he's going to make a move on Hanjun. And Hanjun's like, okay, good night. And they end up doing nothing and just sleeping in the hotel together. The next morning, Yoojin just flies back home. So he leaves a little note for the college kid. He's like, hey, Hanjun, you can leave whenever. Just make sure you don't miss checkout. But now it's a few years down the line. And Yoojin has left the magazine that he was working at previously and kind of created his own spinoff called And You magazine.
What's the original?
Mars magazine. But so he does like a little spinoff called And You. And really he's just like, I didn't feel connected to any of my work. Like I kind of was just burying myself in it because of a bad breakup. I'm going to focus on just like building myself from the ground up. But I mean, he still has connections in the industry, you know, everything like that. And he and his assistant end up doing an interview for a photographer. And it turns out to be Hanjun, the college kid that he met back in the hotel just a couple years past. So Yoojin hires him mostly because the portfolio was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I guess I should have put together that like stylistically the photos were similar, but I just didn't. Yoojin is just really happy with the pictures and Hanjun accepts the job. And for a while, they're doing just a great job of working together. No big deal. Yoojin is super helpful, like takes him to and from the shoots, and they do spend a lot of one-on-one time. But he notices that Hanjun is starting to like take pictures of him in their free time. So like during the downtime when Yoojin's just prepping for a shoot, Hanjun's taking little pictures of him here and there. And he's like, oh, it's just because candid photos are the best. That's where you get your best photos from, is catching people off guard or when they don't even notice. You know, then they can't get camera shy. And Yoojin's like, okay, but stop. Stop taking pictures of me. And you as the reader kind of get this viewpoint that Hanjun, one, was already pretty famous on social media for his photos. So Yoojin didn't know him because he wasn't as active in that photography scene, but Hanjun didn't need Yoojin encouraging him to be a photographer. Mm-hmm. He was already pretty successful, but he just kind of leaned into this really nice, attractive man is complimenting me. And so he just keeps kind of like making moves at Yoojin and does eventually say like, hey, you know, when we were in that hotel room, did you want to do anything else? And Yoojin says, nope, didn't want to. He's like, don't make it into something it wasn't. And Hanjun's pretty disappointed. They end up going to a work event and one of Yoojin's old like coworkers who kind of hates him approaches Hanjun and he's like, oh, you guys are working together. Maybe you should come to our magazine for a little bit. Yujin's kind of a man-ho and he's talking some crap.
Yeah.
And Hanjun's like, I don't think so. He's always been really nice to me. And Yujin thinks it's really sweet. So they do end up having like a lot of moments together, but they end up going to a photo shoot at this restaurant or not this restaurant. It's more like a painting experience kind of a thing. Maybe like a wine and canvas equivalent.
Yeah.
And when Hanjun goes to take the picture, he takes another candid one of Yujin like he's not supposed to. And he notices that the face that Yujin is making is different. And he starts piecing together that this person that they're doing the interview with is Yujin's ex.
Oh.
So Hanjun's like, oh man, like he's still in his life. That really sucks. And it's like, this young adult in like his early 20s trying to like overcome the fact that he has a crush on somebody, but he does end up confessing his feelings to Yujin, who again is like, no, I'm sorry. Like I can't be involved with you. I said I wouldn't do that with a coworker. If it's uncomfortable for you, like you could take a break from work or, we could change around how the shoots go, whatever.
Is he playing like a 3 strikes you're out system so he's done now?
Not yet. But interestingly enough, like Hanjun does start to keep to himself. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to take the weird candid photos and I'm not going to make him uncomfortable. I'll just focus on my work. And Yujin starts to kind of be like, well, why isn't he focusing on me more?
Yeah.
But you do see from Yujin's point of view that 3 years ago when they met, he absolutely wanted to hook up with Hanjun. And he's like, there always has been something about him that I've admired and he's just a good person. It's just that sometimes I don't feel like I deserve that. Like he hears how people talk about him being a man-ho and he's like, it's not exactly wrong. And he's like, this young kid like has so many other options for himself. Why would he go with me kind of a thing? And the two of them end up just kind of coming to a head where Hanjun's like, you don't like me, so leave me alone. And Yujin's like, you're wrong. I just kind of said it so that it wouldn't make things awkward. And they start to pursue a relationship, and it's actually like really healthy and good for the both of them. It's a really cathartic read. It would probably make more sense for me if I read it in the right order, which I assume is Lover Boy and then Sparkling Baby. But I loved them.
So they're side characters in the other story, you think?
I don't think Hanjun is in the other one.
Okay.
This is all assumption because I have yet to literally open my book at all. But yeah, I think that the way it's set up is that Loverboy has 2 main characters. Taeha, the guy that they interview in Sparkling Baby, is one of the main characters.
Oh.
And in Loverboy, he and Yujin were dating at the start.
Okay.
But I think Taeha and Yujin break up, and that's what starts this story.
That might make it better, though, that you read it backwards, because then at least you know that he gets a good ending.
Yeah. You're not like, wow, that sucks. Because, yeah, I think the plot of Loverboy, you have Taeha, who's like this older student, like almost like associate professor or whatever. And it's like a childhood friend of his who ends up like studying under him and they fall in love. But Taeha is definitely dating somebody else at the time.
Yeah.
So it's a little more problematic because Taeha's like, I'm in a relationship. I might have feelings for somebody else though.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. But yeah, Yujin was pretty lovable. I did like him a lot. And I liked Hanjun even better.
Yeah.
He's just so cute and very, very open. So it was perfect. It was just a bunch of cute little characters.
I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Maybe eventually I'll read Loverboy.
Then you can tell us all about it.
I know. No kidding.
Okay, so the next one that I read is called A World of Artificers. This one is on Manta. It's 190 episodes.
Jesus.
I am on 67.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've still got a way to go.
I was going to say, not halfway quite, but getting there.
Yeah. So I'm putting the effort in. It's worth it. I love this one so far. So this one is about a guy named Bomb. He is going out and about on the town. He makes a snowflake in his hand, like Elsa from Frozen.
Let it go.
He doesn't sing, though.
Oh, okay. Darn.
So when he does that, there is another guy who sees him do this and then follows him home.
Oh, okay.
And you find out that the guy who followed him home, his name is Gino. He is an artificer.
Okay.
And he thinks that Baum is an artificer too because he can make a snowflake.
I mean, that isn't exactly normal.
This is true. So Baum is like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what an artificer is. And Gino like holds him at knife point and like cuts his throat a little bit because artificers heal like instantly. They regenerate. And so then when he sees that he's not regenerating, he's like, oh, you're not an artificer? So poor Baum gets injured throughout this a lot.
Well, apparently because he's not an artificer.
Yeah. So then Gino, you find out he's like on a mission to figure out how to become a human again.
Interesting.
So he's telling Baum about artificers and what they are. And essentially, artificers are not born. They're made artificers from another artificer.
Okay.
So...
chain reaction.
Yeah, chain reaction. And they live for an extremely long time. And they have enhanced senses. So oftentimes artists are the ones who are turned.
Okay.
And so, for example, Baum is a sculptor.
Okay.
So that's another reason why Gino thought that he was an artificer. His sister, Sae, is a really well-known musician. And so she gets turned into an artificer as well by a man who is just known as Father.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like that shit at all.
It's not great. And Sae, her power after she becomes an artificer is that she can create rain. So there are all kinds of different things. There's another girl who can control lightning. So it just kind of depends on like what you were good at as a human. It's enhanced.
Yeah.
But you're also kind of crazy. These artificers go a little crazy.
Yeah. I could see.
Yeah. Baum sees his sister like dead in her room. And he's worried at first.
Well, understandable.
But Gino goes and checks it out and is like, this isn't your sister. This is just a body replica that she created.
It's a husk.
Pretty much.
Jeez.
And the reason that she did it is so that her family would think that she was dead and not look for her. And then she ran away. Allegedly.
Okay.
So then Baum is like, ugh, my sister's crazy. I gotta go find her again. Like, she's run off before. This has gotta be something similar to that. So Baum is out to find his sister.
Okay.
He's hunting down all of these leads. Gino is out to find an artificer who knows how to turn back into a human. So he's also hunting all these leads. So they're kind of working together, but not like willingly. They're bickering all the time. And it's just because they're walking parallel paths that they're together on this. Like as soon as there's a difference in their paths, they're like, all right, peace, I'm leaving. So it takes until episode 50 for them to even start to be like, okay, we're working together. And then by episode 60, they have a fight.
Are we talking, is this boy love?
No, it's an action series. So there's it's like a fantasy sci-fi. There's no romance in it.
So I should just cross it off my list. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe, but it's pretty good.
I was going to say, I was like, this sounds like a great enemies to lovers.
Maybe, but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, so...
enemies to friends?
Enemies to friends, yeah. Gino does have a past love interest who maybe comes back, may not come back.
Did he maybe hold her at knife point and say, you're an artificer? And
no, he ate her.
I did not see that coming. Gino, that's a little too strong.
So artificers, if they're like severely injured, they can regenerate still, but it's very painful. So in order to speed the process up, you can eat people. So that's what he did.
So that's who he went for?
One time. Yeah. Well, it was, it's actually really sad because they were in bed asleep. Gino left. And then while he was gone, someone set his house on fire. So he ran into his house to save his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And then he got so burned that he couldn't control himself. Like, because the artificers, it's almost zombie-like. Like, they are not really conscious of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or they are, like, they know what they're doing, but the drive to eat the person to end your suffering is much greater than the voice inside your head saying, don't eat that person.
The voice is maybe going, you should eat that person.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in this one. There are a ton of different characters. I would say this one is very episodic. Actually, I would say it's very episodic because there are episodes.
As there are, as is customary in a webcomic.
So they like do different things, and the side characters are there for a while, but then their storyline ends and our main characters, Gino and Bomb, continue on. There's also a third main character. His name is Taewon, and he is Bomb's childhood friend. So as soon as he can, Bomb is like, hey, come help me find Seye.
They really missed the ship on like a love triangle boy love here.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying.
They did.
If they try a next time, could be a boy love.
This one too is really cool how they use color because it's a black and white comic, but magic is the color.
Oh,
so
I love when they do that.
Yeah, like his snowflake is blue and his one snowflake that he can make.
Snowflake.
And the girl who can control lightning, it's red when she can do that.
That honestly, it's like sad how quickly that just hypes me up.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
When I see it, I'm like, yes!
It's gorgeous. And like you saw the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
So artificers have glowing eyes.
All of them do?
Yeah, the regular, and it corresponds with the color of their magic.
Okay.
And regular humans don't. They're just all black and white.
Yeah. They're
so
just plain.
Yeah. There's a ton of different storylines throughout, and I'm not even halfway through.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna finish it. It is well worth it so far. I love this one.
I'm so happy you're reading this one. It was on my list for a really long time, and unfortunately I took it off because I was like, I'm not doing 190 episodes.
It's a little daunting. They aren't, like, it's not I Was the Final Boss long.
But there's some content.
Yeah, it's also not Nove short.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. It's like a little mix.
Yeah.
You know, that's hard. I have commitment issues, not in relationships. I'm perfectly fine there. But when it comes to webcomics, if I'm going to read one and it's going to be 190 episodes, I've probably already started reading before it had that many episodes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lore Olympus, I hate to say, I don't know that I'll get around to it myself.
But I have multiple physical copies that you can borrow.
Yeah, in case everyone listening didn't know, Alex does have all of the up-to-date volumes in both the standard releases as well as the Barnes & Noble exclusive releases. All deluxe edition hardcover. And it's honestly pretty impressive.
I mean, how could I not? They're just so pretty.
I mean, you could choose one. But at this point, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to keep going. So I commend you. It's an investment, a commitment.
It is.
It's great. But yeah, 190 episodes. I salute to you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Wishing you the best. Well, I have another episodic story for you because it has episodes.
Okay, but you know what I mean, right? Like 5 episodes is like one story episode.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you
just want to make sure the people get it. I'm not stupid, okay?
I didn't think it. But anyways, the last story I have to talk with everyone about is called Pian Pian. This has been on my list of need to read stories pretty close to when we started making the list. I'm not going to lie. I saw the art for this one, absolutely adored it. I was like, oh, it's a name verse. That's interesting, because I hadn't read any at the time. And it was just a really cool concept. And then it just sat there for forever. So that's on me. But I am so glad that I read this one. Also, it was pointed out to me by Courtney on the Delusional Book Boyfriend podcast. Shout out again. That the artist for this story, Pian Pian, is also the artist for Triad and Tribulations, which is their
favorite.
second story.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, gangster romance. You can't really do anything wrong there. But this story is on Leeson. It's completed with 89 episodes. And it is a boy love name verse story. It does a really good job of setting up the story for you in that preliminary episode. So everybody in this story gets the imprint of their soulmate's initials on their body. And they really just signify like whether or not you're close to them. They'll like react, or they'll get darker if you're in close proximity to them. But these imprints are not liked by everybody in society. So there is only like a 1 in 100,000 chance of meeting your soulmate. And so there are a lot of people who cover up their soulmate's initials with tattoos, things like that, mostly because they don't want to feel tied to this idea of, I have to meet my soulmate or no one else is worth it.
Do they still glow under the tattoo?
Yeah, they do. So if you do end up meeting your soulmate, obviously your imprint will react to it. It'll get darker, and automatically once you and your soulmate start getting closer, you're bonded. So that's kind of the general gist of the imprints in this name verse. It's a bit more complicated for everybody. However, our main character, Suha, he is very tied to, I want to meet my soulmate. It's been like his dream. He's like, there's someone out there destined for me. It feels wrong to pursue a relationship with anybody else. And so even though he's in like his mid-20s, he's like, nope, holding out for my soulmate. Haven't met them yet. There's also another reason he isn't pursuing anybody, which is because to show his imprint to someone would be kind of inappropriate because it is in a very sensitive spot. So because of that, he's like, honestly, the only person who should be seeing that is my soulmate. So, you know, who's to say? But then there's also the caveat of like, okay, well, how am I going to know their soulmate? Because I'm not like looking at what's happening down there if I'm just meeting regular people. And unfortunately for him, he's also starting to get really explicit dreams about the chef that he works under in this restaurant. He is like, I love the chef. I thought it was admiration at first because he's a really incredible chef and I thought I had a lot to learn from him. And now he's an incredible chef. I have a lot to learn from him and I'm having sex dreams about him on a regular basis. However, he's extremely sad because Chef Calix, he doesn't feel has even just a friendly bone in his body towards Suha. He calls everybody else by their first name, but still calls Suha Yan, his last name. And Suha's just like, what the hell? What did I do? And he works so hard. He's like, I'm going to do all the dishes. I'm going to help deep fry all of the food for the restaurant, you know, because they're doing like limited menu things where they're like rotating things out really quickly. And he's always jumping in to help. He wants to learn everything else. And he still gets hit with the last name constantly. So Suha is talking to his friend Sahyun, and he's like, I don't even know what to do at this point. I just want the chef to like me. He's like, I don't think it's that hard. He calls everyone else by their first name. I'm working so hard. He doesn't recognize it. He must hate me. Should I leave the restaurant? All this. And Sahyun's like, why do you think that he hates you? He doesn't hate you. He's like, well, he really likes you. And they're drinking and he's getting plastered. Mm-hmm. And Sahyun's like, if you want to get to know the chef, just talk to the chef. It's pretty simple. It's kind of just talk to each other and then it'll be fine.
Talking to people's kind of hard.
Alex is immediately on Suha's side. But Suha's like, as he gets drunker, like drink by drink, he's just like, it's not fair. He doesn't call me by my first name. And Sahyun's like, I don't know what to do with you. So Suha passes out at the table. And when he wakes up, he sees that the chef is across from him. And he automatically assumes that this is another one of his explicit dreams.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately for him, that's not the case. Sahyun, little scheming bastard, sees that Suha's passed out, and he ends up texting the chef, and he's like, hey, Suha's drunk. Can you come take care of him? Okay, bye. And so the chef comes to specifically get Suha home safe. And Suha's like, oh my gosh, it's the chef. I can't believe it. Haha, I don't have to believe it. It's a dream. And he's fumbling all over himself. And Chef Calix is like, I heard you want to get to know me. So ask away. What are your questions? And Suha loses it. He starts bawling, crying in the middle of this restaurant. He goes, why don't you call me by my first name? And I really just want to get closer to you and you won't let me. Like all this stuff. And then he just starts like falling all over. So the chef goes and like takes him to the bathroom and is trying to clean him up. And then he's like, hey, Suha, where do you live? And Suha's giggling to himself. He's like, what if he saw my imprint? Ha ha ha. And the chef is like, okay, you weirdo. So since Suha can't articulate where he lives, he ends up taking Suha to a motel. He's like, sleep it off. You'll get a hangover. Here's like an energy drink, whatever, in the morning. And Suha grabs him and he's like, we still haven't gotten closer. I just want to know how to get to know you. And Calix is like, if you want to get to know me, then we have to share a secret together.
Did you have secondhand embarrassment from this?
Yes.
Because I'm getting thirdhand embarrassment.
Through me. Yes, I did. But I also love Suha. He's precious.
Yeah.
So Calix is like, if you want to get closer, we just have to share a secret. Just tell me a secret. I'll tell you mine. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't have any secrets except for where my imprint is, but I can't tell you that because I can only tell my soulmate. And Calix is like, oh, is yours in an intimate place too? Because so is mine. And Suha's like, oh, it is. So he's like, well, I guess I can show you that. And so he just like completely drops his pants. And unfortunately, he's extremely hard. And so then he's really embarrassed that he has a hard-on while he's trying to show the chef his imprint. And so he tries to hide in the bathroom, which is fully glass. So the chef is like, that's not working.
We're all embarrassed.
Yeah, we're all embarrassed for you. And so Suha comes out and he and the chef do kind of hook up with one another. And then the chef leaves. And so Suha wakes up the next morning. He's like, oh my God, I thought it was a dream, but I'm in this motel and it definitely wasn't a dream. Mm-hmm. But then he very quickly gets over that and says, well, now I'm pissed because I showed the chef mine and I didn't get to see his imprint. So Suha is sitting here trying to devise a plan for finding out what the imprint is for the chef. He's like, how am I going to get close enough to see it? He said it's in an intimate place. So, I mean, I'm not going to be able to see it unless we do something like we did last night. And when they get back to the restaurant, Chef Calix is acting like nothing ever happened. He's still calling him Jan. And he's still barking orders, whatever else. And so Suha's like, I don't know what to do. And so he just randomly walks up to him in the locker room and goes, Chef, can I give you a massage? Because you've been working really hard recently. And Chef is like, sure.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
Never ask your boss that.
I know. But Calix says yes. And before they can even meet up, they end up having another encounter in the restaurant after people have left because Suha's making it very obvious. He's kind of pouty about it, that they're not getting any closer. And so Calix is like, if you stay after, I'll help you learn how to perfect a dish. And he makes him make the same fried rice dish like 30 times in a row. And Suha's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, this is kind of annoying, but I mean, I guess if this is what he said is going to like help me perfect my cooking, then it's fine. And as soon as Chef Calix comes up behind him and he's like, you're not stirring it and the pot isn't hot enough, and he goes to adjust everything, Suha accidentally blurts out loud, I wish I could do that with the chef again. And so they hook up in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
But they end up meeting. Suha's again, like, still haven't seen the imprint. I'm going to have to go ahead with this massage. And when he goes to do it, he like tries to pull down the towel or like the pants that the chef has on. Chef's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what is this? Did you just come over to try to jump me, but you didn't know how to ask? And Suha's like, I just wanted to see your imprint. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I could show you. Like, you could just ask like a normal person. And Suha is like, I still didn't see it. We've hooked up now a couple of times. And he said he's going to show me and that it's an intimate spot. And as he's at the chef's apartment, he sees a bunch of pictures of the chef with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And then it dawns on him. He's like, what if there's no imprint? What if his soulmate passed away?
Does that happen?
Yeah, the imprints can go away if your soulmate dies. Aww. So Suha asked, he goes, have you met your soulmate already? And he goes, yeah.
Aww.
And so Suha's like, God, he doesn't have a soulmate. And Suha already knows that the initials that he has on him don't coincide with Calyx. And so he's like, I mean, we're not soulmates, but I do really care about him. And, you know, I would hate to take away his soulmate from him, but it sounds like he doesn't have one.
So this would be the perfect instance for a throuple.
I mean, there you go. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you do end up meeting a character who has all of the same initials as Suha. He is kind of deranged. His name is Go Hanbin, and he is a food critic. Think like Iron Chef kind of stuff, or like Hell's Kitchen. Mm-hmm. He's just a complete asshole. And all these people like try to hook up with him, and they're like, will you give my restaurant a good review? And he's like, no, you're disgusting, but I'll hook up with you and just humiliate you. But he ends up following Suha on social media and admiring how simplistic all of the recipes are. He's like, sometimes you don't have to make it all flashy, whatever else. And he quickly realizes that he has the initials YSH, which coincide with Yan Suha. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, oh, this is my soulmate. We should be together.
But wouldn't they know that it's not glowing?
Well, he does see his glowing when he goes near the restaurant and sees Suha. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, this is great. And again, Suha, not going to be checking his imprint in front of people.
Excuse me, let me go to the bathroom real quick.
I mean, no kidding. In this story, you see the lightsaber and it's completely like whited out, except you still see the initials. Which is very clever. But basically, I don't want to give too many spoilers about this one because I really loved how everything unveiled. But this story was beautiful start to finish. I loved all of the characters except for Go Hanbin, but if you've read it, you'd understand. And honestly, like when I first read this, the best way I could describe it is like defying fate, like mm-hmm. going against what fate is telling you to do to pursue your own desires. It was so cute. Oh I loved it. Very different from Triad and Tribulations.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But honestly, love that. I think it really showcases that the creator is able to do a lot of different variety of things.
So exciting.
Yeah, highly, highly recommend. Loved every minute of it.
I will be
cute.
That.
You have to. But thank you all so much for joining Alex and I on reading all of these stories. If you're interested in any of them, take a look. And we look forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.